Hello and welcome to the Downsized Dish. My name is Laraine Durham, and this is our weekly series where we talk to people who have lost weight on GLP-1 medications like Mounjaro, Zepbound, Ozempic, and Wegovy. I've lost over 50 pounds on compounded tripeptide, and today we're talking to Andrea. Welcome, Andrea. How are you today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
That's awesome. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Andrea.
Well, I am almost 55 years old, so I'm a postmenopausal woman. I am divorced. I have a stepson who's 34. I have my sweet little doggy here. She's almost 13.
Oh,
she's sweetie. So yeah, I've struggled weight loss. I've struggled, with my weight since probably about 12. I can distinctly remember going to the doctor. My story is a little different because I was very athletic as a young person. Mm-hmm. And then I had a tragic, I broke my neck basically.
Oh my God.
In 1980. So I was 11 years old.
Oh no.
And all of a sudden, all that activity just came to a screeching halt. And I just started, at first I lost a bunch of weight because I was hospitalized and I was bedridden for about 4 months, contraction, so unable to get up off the bed. So I had a bunch of sarcopenia happen, and it's just wasting away basically for those 4 months. And I had gotten down to I think 89 pounds at that time. And so they started to, the pediatrician, after I got out of the hospital and went through physical therapy and everything, was like, we got to fatten her up. She's underweight. So they started to give me Pediasures and boosting calorie recipes my mother was given and all this stuff. Yeah. And so I have a theory it triggered something, but I don't know. So then all of a sudden I was, 12, 13, and I was at the doctor, and now I'm told I'm overweight.
Great.
And again, though, I couldn't play any contact sports. I was a volleyball player. I played soccer. I was on the swim team. And all those things were taken away. Yeah. And then I was told to eat. And, then my mother had to, my mother worked full time, and I was kind of a latchkey kid, back in the, 80s. Yeah. We all came home and we just had access. And I just would, eat and eat and eat in front of the TV. And then my mother would cook dinner, and I would be like, oh, I didn't, it's almost like a secret thing that I didn't want them to know I had already eaten a box of mac and cheese.
Yeah.
So I would sit down and eat dinner too. And it just, kind of spiraled out of control. And then I went through my high school years overweight and put on diets. I mean, we grew up with the same generation, right? Yeah. We're both Gen X.
Yeah.
My mother took me to the hospital, and I was told that I weighed as much as my father, and she freaked out.
Oh.
She put me on Dexatrim.
Dexatrim, yes, I remember the Dexatrim. My mom was a big fan of Dexatrim too. Yeah.
Hydroxycut. Did you ever do that one?
Oh yeah, Hydroxycut. Yeah, sure.
So I think it's just diet culture. I know. Yeah. I listened to your interview with was a man from Australia.
Yeah, James. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a similar sort of parenting in a way. My father tried to start. He got me up. I mean, I was always good at biking, and I always had I did BMX as a kid, and then of course that was taken away because of the broken neck. But I still had a bike, so he started getting me into biking, and he was trying to do it with the exercise, but you can't exercise a bad diet.
Believe me, I've tried. Yeah.
I've lost the same 50 pounds. Like you said the other day I was listening to one of your lives about 1,000 million times. It's been I've been yo-yo dieting my whole life, which messes with our metabolism, So I ended up going to school for nutrition. 10 years out of high school, I decided to go back to college. I dropped out when I was a sophomore. I just didn't know what I wanted. At the time, I wasn't focused. Mm-hmm. So I worked as a bartender, waitress. I worked in restaurants my whole life. Eating that food for 25 years, they start with oil and finish with butter.
Yeah.
But I was very active when I was in my early 20s. So I got into hiking. I had a lot of friends who were outdoorsy, and I was able to get down to a reasonable weight for probably I wasn't into weighing myself back then because I sort of wanted to just step away from all that. So those 10 years before I went back to college, I definitely yo-yoed, but like I was maintaining probably like 145, 150. You know, I used to be 5'7". I'm no longer 5'7".
Yeah, I feel your pain.
Yeah. I was shocked, actually. I just went to the doctor's a month ago, and she put me on one of these high-tech scales where it measures your, like, it's sort of like a smart scale, but one of their more expensive ones. Uh-huh. Lasers your height.
Ooh.
And it came up on the screen, and it was 5 feet 5 3/4. And I was like, what?
What? I'm 5'7".
I'm 5 feet 6 3/4. No, not. I guess not.
Yeah,
but that was late in the day, so maybe if I would have gone in the morning, I'd be 5'6". So I just call it 5'6".
I mean, that's crazy because I was 5'5.5" like my whole adult life, and then I was 5'5" a few years ago, and then in March I was 5'4.25". I'm like, what?
I don't know. It does matter at the time of day. It does matter. So in the morning, you're going to be taller. So when you first wake up and you're like, you've been stretched, you kind of, and if you do yoga, after yoga, you're taller. After you stretch, you're taller. Yeah, oh yeah. Okay. So you could try that.
Good advice. Well, and the only reason I wanted to be taller was you could weigh more if you're taller.
Yeah.
It's all related to that weight loss, height weight chart. So
yeah, I'm not even, I mean, I obviously need to get to a certain body weight, but my goal is waist circumference.
Okay.
So right now I'm at last time I did my measurements for my waist, it was 42. So when you look at my waist to hip ratio, I'm high risk for heart attack, stroke. So I'm looking at the waist to hip ratio as a measurement more than the scale.
I mean, that's a good.
I mean, obviously I'll need to get to a certain weight loss to get to that waist measurement.
Yeah.
But I'm looking for 32, 33 inches.
So let's talk about your current journey. How long have you been, what medication are you on, and how long have you been on it?
So I actually ordered it, I think, beginning of May of this year.
Okay.
So 2024. But I was scared.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I had it sitting in my refrigerator for like a week and a half.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 weeks. And then I took it on Thursday, I think it was May 27th.
All right.
Took my first dose.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a researcher. I got my first job out of college because I do have my degree in nutritional science. Mm-hmm. And I used to be a researcher. So that was my first thing. I just kind of that's how I found you guys. Like I just dove into the research, listening to podcasts, listening to, I read A Magic Pill. Mm-hmm. I was on, I can't remember his last name, the author. But anyway, I found Dr. Tina. I know you've mentioned her. Yep. I also listened to some of the opposition. I read the Step Trials article, so I just, went on PubMed. I did all that. So that's what I kind of did for the when I first started considering it in April. And I didn't go on a telehealth until I decided to do it.
Right.
But then I decided I was going to start low and slow. So my first dose that May 27th was 1.25.
Tirzepatide?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, tirzepatide.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to find like my sweet spot starting lower.
Yeah.
Just based on things I read, based on, things
Dr. Tina
said, yeah, some microdosing. I did notice right away, that first dose. Mm-hmm. It was the following day. So it was a Thursday that I took it. I think I took it in the evening. Mm-hmm. Then the following day I had a working lunch. Mm-hmm. So we were doing an event and we had a 15-minute lunch, but this company was paying for it. And so they delivered Chipotle. So we had we could just go and pick whatever we wanted.
Yeah.
So I made a bowl of Chipotle, just like I normally would. Mm-hmm. And to self-serve. And I sat down to eat it. And of course, we only had 15 minutes. So I was kind of like wolfing it down a little bit, faster than I probably would normally have eaten my lunch. And it was delicious because it's very hyper palatable. I don't normally eat like that. I don't eat out very often. And I was just like, this is good. And I got halfway through the bowl and all of a sudden I was like, stop. Like my brain was like, oh my God, I'm going to throw up. I felt like nauseous right away. I had to like sit there for a second. I was drinking water and I'm like, am I going to have to go to the bathroom and throw up? It's almost like, and then I just remembered what I did last night. I'm like, I took that dose of tripeptide.
Yeah.
So the first thing I noticed was I just couldn't eat as much. And I think the fact that I ate so fast too, but I didn't throw up. I felt a little nauseous. I kind of went in the bathroom and sort of took a couple deep breaths. I happened to have a papaya enzyme with me, one of those digestive enzymes.
Yeah.
So I popped that, went along with the event, did our thing else. I mean, I had to do this day. I couldn't leave,
Yeah.
And the next day I just realized, I was like, I just got to slow myself down. So right away it slowed me down, even with that low dose. So yeah, that's where I started. And I actually have been splitting my doses ever since. So I ended up on that Monday because I felt a little bit of the food noise coming, like that hunger drive too much. I want to be hungry though. That's my biggest thing. Like I've seen so many videos of people that are just not eating enough.
Yeah.
And I can't have another episode of sarcopenia. Like I've yo-yo dieted my whole life. We're not building muscle anymore. We're not maintaining muscle anymore. We have to like really be careful at our age. So, I want to be able to eat. So that's been my kind of my gauge, you know?
So you've been on it almost 3 months, I guess now. So what's your progress? What dose are you on now and how much have you
I'm up to splitting 7 milligrams because I do 3.25 twice a week.
Okay. Are you using the compounded tirzepatide or are you on Zepbound? You're on the compounded.
My insurance wouldn't pay for it.
Yeah. So when you say you're splitting, are you just pulling it out of a vial? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I feel like I wish the insurance company would cover compounded, but I know that that's never probably going to happen. It just gives you more flexibility.
Yeah.
But also you have to kind of, people can't be dumb about it either, like in that book, Magic Pill, he talks about, the ease of access and food disorder, food eating, anorexia. And it's scary. It is a scary world. But then again, we have autonomy. We're adults, we can make decisions. I have a healthcare provider that knows about it. I also use a telehealth. I use Pomegranate Health.
Okay.
And they're pretty, they're pretty good. If you have questions, they'll meet with you. So, and they're making me do blood work.
That's good.
Yeah.
So did you do blood work prior to starting and have you done it lately?
Yeah. I've been doing blood work for about 1.5 years before even. So, because I have high triglycerides, high LDL, low HDL, high APOB. So I don't know if you know what that is, but
I don't know what that is.
It's another marker. Basically, that's the one that shows whether or not you are laying down plaque. So it's just it's a little extra in payment as far as I think I have to pay a little extra out of pocket to have it done. But so it's higher than it should be. So those are things I'm looking at.
And
I want to get DEXA. So.
Yeah. I've heard a lot about DEXA scans. Christopher and I keep looking at maybe doing that. How have your levels come down?
I don't know yet because I haven't had blood draw yet.
Got it.
I have a doctor's appointment on September 3rd, so I'm going to do blood draw next week.
Okay. And have you tracked your weight loss?
Yep. Yeah, I've lost 20, as of today, 21 pounds.
Oh, wow. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Great. It's right where, 1.5 to 2,
Yep.
But what is that? I don't even know. I'd have to do the math in my head.
About 7 pounds a month or something like that.
That's healthy weight loss.
Yeah.
I have to start working out more.
Now, are you able to exercise with your childhood injury, or how does that work now?
There's no contact sports. No hitting a soccer ball with my head.
Okay.
I walk right now. It's pretty much all I do.
Yeah. Okay.
I do a little bit of weightlifting here and there. I do some body weight stuff, like squats and lunges and things like this. But it's not consistent enough to really say that I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I did join the gym recently. I just have to get motivated to go. But yeah, I pretty much.
How much do you want to lose? Like, what's your goal?
Well, My assumption would be that my 32 waist is probably 150, but we won't know till we get there.
Yeah, so I think you and I are the same, almost the same height. Yep. So you're a little taller, and we're the same age, I think, just about. I'm 55. So yeah, I think I've been measuring. Whoops, my ear thing keeps falling out. I've been hold, please. Christopher makes me wear this funny thing. Okay.
He's the real production.
Ah! Christopher, it keeps falling out of my ear.
Tuck it all the way behind your ear and behind your shoulder.
I can't read which one is L. This one's L. Tuck it behind my ear and behind my shoulder, he said.
Yeah, that way your hair's not pulling it out of your ear.
Yeah. Okay. Behind my shoulder.
There you go.
All right, cool. Yeah, so I've been
and you're old, right? You're at your maintenance now.
Yeah. So I'm at 140 as of yesterday morning. And I've been measuring my waist because I've been ordering clothes online.
Right.
And so I know what it used to be and I know what it is now. So I think my waist has gone, I think my waist is like 33, 32.
Perfect. Yeah.
At this point. So, and 142. My original goal weight was 150, but then I decided I'm really going to face being 5'4" now. And it should probably be more like 145, 140. So
yeah, plus, we have a history of not being able to maintain at that level. Right. So
yeah.
I don't know. I've been 135, back in my 20s. Yeah. But that's just hard to maintain. I was also in the gym 24/7. Like literally.
Yeah.
Eating raw broccoli and tofu only. You know what I mean? It was like very restrictive. I was in college, so I was working a full-time job plus going to school full-time. It was just a different life. Plus, you're younger, you're 20. At 20, our metabolism is totally different.
Yeah.
So I always saw it as like, I don't know where my number is because I know I can't maintain 135, but can I? I don't know.
Yeah. I don't even remember ever being 135. I remember being 145 when I was about 23, 24.
Yeah.
But then it seemed like every year I would just go up and up and up. And I settled around 175, 185 through most of my adult life. I feel like 185 was kind of like my set point.
Yeah.
I could lose 15 pounds.
Yeah.
I got down to 170. I was running half marathons and running all the time and injuring myself constantly because it just, my body was saying, lady, please. Yeah. So I don't really know how to maintain a weight, if that makes sense. So this is the first time I've just tried to not lose weight, but stay the same weight.
Stay the same, yeah. Well, it's set point's a thing, and there's a lot of studies that show that your set point, your body wants to get back there.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm hoping this medication will help us with, is that tool to keep that food noise that is created by our metabolism wanting to get back to that set point. Because that's what I've found over the years, is just because I've been eating healthy for over a decade.
Yeah.
And it's still that, like last year I was at this where I am right now, last year at this time. 183, so pretty close.
Yeah.
And I lost the weight just with diet and a little bit of exercise.
Yeah.
But as soon as I hit this 180-ish area, I was just like going to the grocery store and everything in the aisle was calling to me.
Yeah.
Even though I try to stay at the, the perimeter of the grocery store. I was like, but those chips,
those
I haven't had Milanos in a really long time. I've been so good.
Yeah. I mean, I'm such a junk food junkie,
and so that for me, I have this disordered eating from all those, and it's just that set point calls us.
Yeah. I mean, same, like I still love all the things I've always loved, cookies and candies and pastry. I'm like a sweets person. Like Christopher's, his weakness is chips. Like
I'm salty, savory.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny
both ways.
Yeah. It's funny the things we could take or leave and then the things that really call to us. And I think those things still call to me, but I notice now when I eat them, I don't get the
hit.
high, the
They
hit.
hit
Yeah.
differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the same thing with alcohol. So I was a big
Oh,
wine
yeah.
drinker before. And now, I mean, I can have a glass of wine. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's okay.
One's good.
Yeah. All right. You know,
Yeah.
I don't feel, I don't know. It
The impulse
feels,
to have 2 or 3.
yeah.
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 I've heard that. And I mean, I'm not a huge drinker. I do socially drink, but I've never had more than 1 or 2. So, but I do
Oh.
find that now I'm having 1, you know,
Yeah.
and it depends on the drink too. If it's not real good, I think I heard you say this once, if it doesn't taste good, I'm not eating it.
Right.
I've kind of had that attitude about alcohol. Like if that drink comes to me, because I'm a bartender. So I used to be a bartender.
Yeah.
So I know how to make a good drink. And if I get a drink, like I just took my niece to Algonquin in Maine, and we went out to this restaurant, and I ordered some kind of raspberry gin fizz type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to me, and it was just like, ugh.
Yeah.
And I just didn't drink it.
Yeah.
And the next time we went to a restaurant, I got a watermelon seltzer type of thing with no alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
And it was refreshing, and it tasted good,
Yeah.
So
yeah, sometimes I've noticed that sometimes I just want like a bubbly, like a sparkling water or and the sweet drinks just don't. It's almost like I'm drinking poison. Like I just feel like it doesn't.
No, I wonder if that's a combination of the medication and neuroadaptation. Because you've been on your journey now for what, a year? Just about?
Almost. I think this is week 45. Today is 45. So yeah. So
your tongue does neuroadapt.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, I still want the sweets, but I don't know. It just, I guess, because it doesn't give me that hit, I don't go for it as often.
Yep. Now, your kids are in college now, right? They just left?
Yeah, just left last week.
So do you bring that stuff home into the house, or are you leaving it at the grocery store?
We really have tried not to bring things into the house. So, and I call those red light foods for me, like ice cream or cakes. And we don't really have that stuff in the house, but we do have the occasional pack of 100-calorie chips or, some things like that. And now that they've moved out, Christopher's like, yeah, we're going to clean out the pantry. And because Christopher doesn't believe I'm a big protein bar fan.
Yeah, I've heard him say that he's just like, nah.
Yeah. And he's
kind of like half you, half him.
Yeah.
I just find that it's hard because I eat not purely vegan vegetarian, but I eat a lot of more legumes and tofu and things like that.
Yeah.
And it's harder for me to get that 100 because my goal is 100 grams
of protein. Mm-hmm.
And I just recently found this protein coffee thing that everyone's doing. And I used to drink my coffee black.
Mm-hmm.
And now that gives me 33 grams of protein in the morning.
Is that a powder or a liquid?
Yeah, I use like a whey protein, I think from Garden of Life or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then I mix it with soy milk, so it gives it that extra, and then I drink my coffee with that, and it gives me the creaminess I want. And because right now, summer, I drink iced coffees more.
Yeah.
And I don't like an iced coffee black.
Yeah, that's a little much. Yeah.
But I did end up buying, I was listening to Little Less Lisa, because I found her as well, and she told me, or she was talking about this clear protein that she bought. And so I bought that and I tried it. And for me, water is fine, but like every once in a while you want something different.
Yeah.
And I figured, well, if I'm going to drink something different, I might as well have protein in it.
Yeah.
But I try to get my protein from Whole Foods best I can,
Yeah. I get the Premier Protein ready to drink shakes because it's already mixed up. I found it's hard to get a powder that mixes and then to put in the warm coffee. I haven't found the right combination yet, but I'll just do about a third of a Premier Protein shake. And then it's...
Sorry if you hear that.
Yeah.
Air horn going off.
Oh no, are you being attacked?
I'm gonna mute.
What happened? Yeah, you're still on mute. Yeah. Still...
Oh my God, I forgot about the air horn.
What is that?
I live near a museum.
Okay.
Well, it's a restaurant, but he's a collector. And he has an air horn from the 1940s on a pole. And it goes up every Friday at noon.
Woohoo! That's funny.
Yeah.
How long does it go off? 3 minutes?
About a minute.
Yeah. All right.
Hopefully you can still hear me.
Where do you live?
I'm Western Massachusetts.
Okay.
And I live in a downtown in the city, and he's right next door to me, this museum / restaurant.
That's hilarious. I mean,
so he's got a warplane up on a pole, and his restaurant's full of museum articles, all from the 30s and 40s and Industrial Revolution and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. And
this is an air horn that was used to, I guess they would practice seeking shelter.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he still thinks it's necessary to let it go off at noon every Friday afternoon.
Guess there's no sleeping past noon on Fridays.
Yep. You always know when it's noon on Fridays in the city.
That's funny.
Oh my God.
That's funny.
So I apologize. I forgot all about it.
No, we'll just hang out. Let's see. Let me look at my list of questions while we're waiting for the air horn to go off.
Yeah, I'm going to mute.
I guess we can talk about side effects when your air horn is it's done. Somebody's in the background. I'm waving. Hey, hey.
Oh my God, it's still going on. I feel like it's been more than a minute.
Just about 2 minutes.
Who's that back there?
My nephew.
Oh, hey nephew.
God. But I really appreciate your channel, by the way. I just want to say, it's finally over.
Oh, yeah.
Over. So I had, I always forget to warn people who come to visit me or stay the night on a Friday. When you'll be woken up at noon.
That's funny. So tell me about your side effects. Have you had any?
I haven't. Yeah, I have had constipation. It came along pretty quickly. I think it was when I went to 2.5. Mm-hmm. But I just, like I said, I'd already done all the research, so I was ready.
You knew it was coming.
And I hate it. I hate it more than anything.
Is there any particular remedy or anything you?
Yeah, I started. Cam, can you not whistle, please?
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. So I started taking just fiber supplements. I started with psyllium husk and then moved on to, I use Benefiber because I just find it's easier. Yeah. And I just started taking the magnesium citrate.
Okay. So
I take magnesium glycinate in the morning and then the citrate at night.
Okay.
And it's helped. Yeah.
All right. Well,
yeah.
That's good. Yeah. That's been my main side effect too.
And water. I just make sure I drink plenty of water.
Yeah. I see that water bottle there. Good. I don't have mine handy.
Ines calls it my emotional support water bottle.
Christopher's always like, do we need all these giant cups in the house? And I'm like, yes, we do. I need one upstairs. I need one at my desk. I need one in all places of balance. Leave a trail of
on it throughout the world, throughout your house.
Trail of
traveling's hard because it's like, it's hard to carry all that water.
So I guess one of the benefits to being on a lower dose is I would think you would have less side effects.
Yeah, so far. I mean, now I'm pretty much at 7. So, because I do split that 3, I'm at, and I haven't noticed, as long as I'm consistent with my fiber intake too, I try to hit 35 grams.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I don't always make it every day.
Yeah.
But as long as I can get that 28 in, I'm good.
Yeah.
But
I was on at one point in Weight Watchers, they had their plan was you only counted grams of fat and grams of fiber. This was probably in the late 80s, early 90s. And so I remember it was before points. It was so I remember they wanted to eat 20 grams of fiber a day. And I remember at the time thinking, that's so much. Yeah. And now
how many do you get in, do you think?
Well, I take fiber gummies, so I know that's 5 or 7. And then beyond that, I really don't know. I mean, I usually eat some kind of vegetables at lunch and some kind of vegetables at dinner. So I feel like, but sometimes I get lax on adding those vegetables. And that's when I find things can back up. So I really got to stay. I got to stay on it.
Yeah, I find it hard for me to eat. Like I used to eat. My big thing whenever I was on a weight loss journey was always eating a big salad.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I can't seem to get a big one in anymore because it's just like I can't eat that much.
It's too much. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's been a challenge to just kind of change my mindset a little bit. But
yeah. There's only so much room in there for anything. So I always tell people to eat your protein first, because once you fill up, you're like, nope. All done. You mentioned splitting your 7 dose. Are you splitting it into 2 doses in the week? Or?
Yeah, 4 days apart. So Thursday and Monday.
Thursday and Monday.
Yep. Same time I changed my estradiol patch.
Oh, you know what? That's a good.
Sorry.
We can edit, don't worry. Yeah, that's a good way to remember that, because I also am doing the patch and the progesterone pill. Do you take those too?
Yeah.
I can't remember to take those at night.
You gotta just remember.
I know.
Did you have a uterus still, my dear?
Yeah. Yay. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. But yeah, and I forget to change the patchy thing out. So that's a good, if you're doing your shot, that's a good way to remember that.
I used to have, when I first started doing any medication, I have to set a calendar, like a reminder in my phone.
That's a good idea.
And that way I just remember. And then once you get into the habit, you'll remember. Yeah, and I keep my medication by my bedside table too, which helps.
Yeah. Oh, that's another good tip. Thank you.
Yeah, or with your toothbrush, whatever, things like that work too.
Yeah, because I wake like this morning. I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning, like on fire, and I'm like, dang it, I forgot to take my pill.
How long have you been on HRT now?
Just a couple months. Well,
yeah, you'll get used to it.
Yeah, like May. So, yeah, it's because I was just having such severe hot.
Yeah,
at night.
No, I know.
So
exactly.
It does help when I remember to do it. So I think the tripeptide like regulated my whole thing with that, because I was having irregular periods, and then when I started the tripeptide, they got super regular for 3 months and then stopped. They stopped in December. I thought, oh, okay. I went to the doctor in March, and she did blood work, and she said, you are in full-on menopause. And I said, well, how's that possible? Because December to
a period. It hasn't been 12 months.
And I still haven't. And now it's August. So I don't know. I don't know. And because I had talked to my mom about it, I'm like, I'm 55 and I haven't.
Why should I still have my periods?
Yeah. And she said, oh, I had some fibroids or something at that age, and the doctor had to go in and do something. Maybe you have that too. So I don't know if I will never know at this point. But
I started perimenopause probably 2018, maybe. 20. I started to do the 3 months on, and I wouldn't have one for 3 months, and then it would be really heavy, and then 6 months, and then it would come back 6 months later, and then it was like and then I started to ask my doctor back then. I think it was in 2019, early 2009, or either that or late. I would think it was actually December of 2018. I went to my OBGYN and I asked for hormone replacement therapy. And she said, oh, no. It's not safe.
Oh,
I was like, that's not what I'm reading.
That's not what I thought. Yeah.
I was sort of put out, and then I left. And it's so hard because you don't want to question a doctor,
Right.
And so I left, and I was like, And then I found was 2000 and during the right as the pandemic was hitting, I think it was 2019. I found TikTok. And I got on TikTok, and I found Mary Claire Haver, Dr. Mary Claire Haver of the Galveston Diet. She's a certified OBGYN, and she's a menopause specialist. And I was listening to her, and I said, and so I started asking my other doctors, and they were saying no. And I'm like, oh my God. So I fought for it for a long time, and I just got it. It's been little over a year, probably.
Okay. And
Yeah.
I guess it's made a difference for you.
Yeah, I mean, I am, and I was already post-menopausal by the time I got it. But my menopause had happened March of 2020.
Right in the middle of everything shutting down.
Right when the pandemic
what a great
started.
time.
I thought I was in menopause, or I thought I had already hit menopause in 2019.
Oh.
I went a whole year, almost a whole year without a period. It was like 10 months, and then I got a period, and I was like, "You gotta be kidding me!" I ended up going to get some work. I went to a specialist because they were worried because I was bleeding, and I had already gone to, like, they thought I was already postmenopausal, and I just had a sister die of cancer, and
stress,
so yeah, and so I was hyper alert of what my health at that time, and I went to see my OB, and she sent me to a specialist, and they took a piece of something and biopsy, and they didn't find anything, and then the specialist told me, "Oh no, you can still have periods even if you've gone, you have to be 12 months or more," and I'm like, "Oh, it's pretty damn close."
Yeah,
but yeah, I got it after I was out of menopause and postmenopausal, so. But I'm on it, and it's helped. I had really bad night sweats. I had I had moodiness and anxiety. I mean, I had all that stuff, and it all went away. It was a miracle.
I'm sure Christopher would say I have all that and more. Do we have before and after pics?
I thought I sent you them.
Oh, he can add them later. I'll look for them.
I mean, it's not much. It's only 20 pounds, but it is, I'm happy where I'm not happy where I'm at, but I'm just hoping my blood work comes back and things are improving.
Yeah. I feel like you're probably will show some progress. I would say.
So. I am on a statin as well, so it kind of started almost at the same time.
Huh. Okay.
I started the statin in March, and then I started the tripeptide in late May. So
should
see.
definitely help. Yeah, Christopher's on a statin for. Was that high blood pressure or high cholesterol? Is that
cholesterol?
Cholesterol.
I was on blood pressure medication, but I came off that. So
okay, all right, great.
Yeah.
So, are there any tips or things you want to let people know who might be thinking about starting one of these GLP-1s?
I'd say start low and slow if you can. If you are starting at the starting dose, just make sure you can eat.
Yeah.
I worry about people who don't get 1,000 calories in.
I don't think I did at first, for sure.
Yeah, I worry about that for sarcopenia, especially if you're our age. And just, for me, I get anxiety about the availability.
Yeah, me too.
But, if you can get it prescribed by your doctor and get your insurance to cover it. I have a friend who just got it covered because she has type 2 diabetes. So she got Mounjaro. Is that the one for Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Mounjaro.
Yep.
So she was able to get it covered, and that's a bonus. I tried. I would say try if you have insurance.
Definitely.
Think about getting a DEXA, because I'm definitely thinking about getting a DEXA. I want to get it now before I progress much further. I will have to pay out of pocket for that.
I don't think they're very expensive from what I've.
They're about 100, 150 probably.
Okay.
Because I'm not due for one until next year. But I don't want to wait till next year. I want to get it done now. So I am going to ask my doctor to write an order for that.
Okay.
And know your blood work. And just be your own advocate. Sure. But you have to eat.
Yeah.
It's not just about taking the medication. For me, anyway. I mean, I'm a nutritionist, so I want to eat healthy food, and I'm a foodie. I worked in restaurants for 25 years,
Yeah. Yeah.
So I want to enjoy food.
Food is a big part.
I'm not, to be not hungry and just have to shove food down my throat. Ugh.
Yeah.
That's why I started so low, because I just wanted to find that sweet spot. And it changes over time too. People need to realize, you do need to increase your dose. I didn't think I would have to. I thought, I'll be able to stay at 2.5.
Yeah.
And I noticed over time, it's like because I am right now clocking my logging my calories, logging my intake. And I was like, oh, geez, I just ate I ate 1,800 calories today. That's not a deficit.
What's your goal? What's your calorie goal?
13.
Okay.
13 to 14. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's where I am in a deficit. So,
yeah.
Because I'm sedentary still. As that changes, I mean, the walking is starting to happen more consistently. But as I'm still kind of sedentary, I try to keep it there. And that might change over time. I worry about the people who aren't, getting, because how do you get that 100 grams if you're not eating 1,000 calories?
You don't. Yeah. Yeah. It's really hard. A lot of days I get to the end of the day and I'm like, oh, I've only eaten 60 grams of protein today.
Yeah.
So
I've
really,
had bad days.
I think over time you just have to, do the best you can and keep an eye on it.
Keep an eye on it. Yeah.
Do you have any like go-to meals? I know you said you eat a lot of vegetarian things. Do you have like a favorite thing that you make?
I think I eat a lot of chili. I love chili.
Oh, okay.
I make a 3-bean, what's really a 4-bean chili, but it's 3 beans plus lentils.
Okay.
And I usually put that on top of a sweet potato so I get the fiber in a little bit. I use regular yogurt. Like I love the yogurt as sour cream.
Me too.
And I chop up the chives and I'm all fancy about it. Yeah, I'm a kind of a foodie. I love pasta. Oh, I should have been Italian. So yeah, anything it's just easy for a single person to just cook pasta for themselves,
Yeah. What protein do you add in the pasta?
Sometimes chicken, sometimes shrimp. Sometimes I just do like I'll take a can of white beans and puree it and then throw it in the sauce.
Oh, that's a great idea.
And I eat like half that sauce because I'll make the sauce, but I'll add that. It just adds a little bit of like creaminess to it with the protein as well.
I love that.
Yeah, and sometimes I'll do that and then I'll add chicken too, so it's extra protein.
Yeah.
I eat a lot of fish. I'll eat a lot of salmon. Just big salads. I try to do salads still. I mean, I try. I don't eat anywhere near what I used to with salad. Probably about 1.5 cups or 2 cups of greens.
Yeah, that's all it'll fit.
That's all it will fit. But that's enough.
Yeah.
Breakfast is usually always either my high protein waffles on the weekends, because I like to have the waffle thing on the weekends. Avocado toast with egg.
Yeah.
Or sometimes I do like a hummus with the avocado. And I love oatmeal. I love overnight oats. Those are just easy. I just take them on the run with me. Yeah. I do that a lot for breakfast. But yeah, dinner's usually like either salmon or pasta. But my pasta, I try to buy lentil pastas or like... Oh, yeah? Yeah, like a higher protein pastas.
I haven't been able to convince Christopher to try this. He's shaking his head no over there. But I like the white beans blended up in the sauce. That's so good. That's something he can probably.
Yeah, and then you gives you the creaminess,
Yeah,
without the cream.
Yeah, I like the chili idea too. It's getting a little bit cooler here down south. It's probably a lot cooler up where you are.
I can eat chili in the middle of winter. I mean, in the middle of summer. Doesn't matter. Love chili. Yeah. In the winter, I'll eat a lot more stews and things like that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, mostly whole food, plant-based, but I do eat some chicken, some fish.
Yeah.
Not a lot of beef, but every once in a while I just want a steak.
Yeah. Well, I think beef is such a good protein source. I
just worry about the saturated fat because of, because of my high cholesterol. But, butter was, oh my God, butter and bread. I could live on butter and bread. So I try to keep that stuff to the minimums, but every once in a while, just want to have a little butter and bread with your soup or your whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. For sure. But I have this, I don't know if you've heard of Zoe Nutrition podcast, and they offer an app called Ask Zoe. So you can bring it to the store and scan the barcode and it gives it a score. So I use that when I go bread shopping. There's not a lot of breads that meet this, but I found a few. I found a few breads.
I guess if you can get a higher fiber, lower gluten.
Yeah, and as a nutritionist, I thought I knew what I was doing, and then I would scan the barcode, and I'm like, "That's a reject."
Yeah, because a lot of those whole wheat breads, they fool you because they have so many other sugar. Yeah,
it's the sugar. I do go to a local bakery and I buy their bread. Of course, I can't scan that, but I figure it's it's
better than
it's made the style, artisan way. So
yeah. I told Christopher, I said, maybe we should start baking our own bread. He goes, Laraine, we would just eat all the bread. I'm like,
we
that's
would eat
true.
all the bread. Yeah. I go and get a loaf once in a while because it's something I can't have in the house, but I'll cut it in half and then put it in the freezer.
That's a great idea. Yeah. Okay. Well, awesome. Well, any other things you want to talk about, or it sounds like you're on your way there.
Yeah, I hope I can still maintain a supply because I'm only, I got 6 more months of this.
Yeah, I
would love to stay on it for, I'm assuming I'm going to need it for a lifetime.
That's kind of where I'm at too. And I think the compounding will be around, I would say probably as long as we need it. I don't think Eli Lilly can really keep up with the demand at this point, and the demand is only going to get bigger. So, and there's other medications that are in trials now. So, a year from now, everything
be totally different world.
Really different.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And have you heard anything about the oral stuff?
Yeah, is that retatrutide, Christopher? There's several things that they're testing.
I wonder if that would be something that you could get from I don't know.
Oh, could it be compounded?
It's a hard road for people who don't have insurance covering them. I don't make, this is coming out of my budget, and it's been difficult to try to pay for it, but worth it to me, right?
Yeah.
It's just, I've had to back off other things. Unfortunately, this is the American health system, right?
Right. So our insurance does not cover any weight loss drugs. So we go through the compounding route. So it definitely gets expensive quickly. Yeah. So we've definitely cut back on our eating out, and a lot of our just general food costs, we just don't eat as much. So that helps
balance it out a little bit. Yeah. I'm only do anything to get better. I want to be healthy. I don't want, my future was a heart attack or stroke.
Yeah. So yeah,
that would definitely knock this house of cards down, So,
for sure.
That wasn't an option. So hopefully I knock on wood.
Yeah.
In the right direction. And
well, awesome. Well, it sounds like you're going to be there sooner than you think, probably.
You guys
you'll have to check back with us when you hit your goal weight, which I'm sure is coming. Yeah. So, well, thank you very much, Andrea, for talking with us today. It's been great talking to you. And for you guys out there watching, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you'd like to join us on the Downsized Dish, send me an email at ldurham@folio28.com, and we'll get you signed up. So we like to talk to everybody, whether they're starting their journey, in the middle, at the end, thinking about it. I learn something every time when I talk to somebody new. So again, thank you, Andrea, for coming on today. And thanks,
channel. It's been great.
Thank you. And thanks everyone for watching today, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.